Lionel Richie and All Night Long here on 1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits. Good morning to you. We hope you're having a beautiful Thursday. Our Thursday just got a whole lot brighter because joining us in the studio this morning is our colleague from the Straits Times travel segment, Clara Lock. Welcome back, Clara.
Hi, Carol.
I see you got a lovely top on.
I do, thank you.
Where is it from?
It's from Uzbekistan, which is exactly what we're talking about today.
Did you say Uzbekistan or Uzbekistan?
Well, do you say tomato or tomato?
Oh, okay, so both are acceptable?
Which, by the way, was the answer for our What's Your Type earlier?
What was tomatoes?
Oh, guess what? Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Hey, join us on Facebook at facebook.com/1FM91.3 if you want to see what Uzbekistanian designs look like when it comes to fashion. So, Clara, tell us about this trip to Uzbekistan. It's not exactly something like that's top of mind for most people when we think of traveling, right?
Mm-hmm. I think to many people, the Central Asia region is kind of like, what is there? And they don't really know about it. So I went to find out for myself. And Uzbekistan is really fascinating because it's got this historical significance, right? It used to be this city on the Silk Road, and it's got all these religious monuments and buildings that people come for. But at the same time, it's making great strides towards tourism, and it has over the last 5 years. So the infrastructure is really improved. There are high-speed trains similar to the ones you'll find in Europe for you to get between cities. There are new domestic airlines coming up, and we stayed at a bunch of great hotels, both boutique hotels as well as international chains, all at a really great price point, maybe for about $150 per night. We got really comfy stays.
So contrary to popular belief, it's actually a very modern city.
It is, especially if you go to the capital Tashkent, and that's where most people will land. The buildings are super modern, and then when you go out of the capital, then that's where you get all the historical sites.
Yeah, I was looking at a picture earlier. The landscape and the skyline looks very similar to Singapore at night, with your MBS, that kind of lots of lights in the city. They've got a population of 32 million people. So that's something I just learned today. And they've also got your nice historic sandy looking places and buildings as well. So yeah, it looks like a wonderful mesh of old and new.
It is.
Yeah, you know what's amazing? What you're describing is completely different to the experience I had it was 20 years ago when I was there. And it was kind of stuck in a time warp then. Very Soviet, post-communist era type of, wide avenues, lots of statues of former leaders. Bit of a cowboy town, I have to say. And you could, there was a black market going on. It was a very, very strange place, but very interesting to me. Sounds very modern now.
And it's fascinating because you still see those hints of Soviet influence. Like when you take the subway in Tashkent, it's these Soviet-style beautiful carriages and architecture.
Yeah.
And did you take it when you were there?
I did.
Yeah, so it still kind of looks like that now. But at the same time, you've got all these modern buildings and new hotels that have come up and international chains. So I didn't know there's a huge Korean diaspora there. So the Korean food is great. And also, I had really good pizza, international food, burgers and stuff. So it's just this whole mishmash of old and new.
So what awaits someone when they go to Uzbekistan? What are we looking to do there?
I think you definitely want to get out of the capital and go to all the cities that follow the Silk Road. So the Silk Road used to be where, spices and trade went on between East and West. And you see all these remnants of how life was like during those times.
Wow.
Buildings where people would go and park their caravans and trading domes. And if you imagine back in the day, this is where everything happened. This is where merchants would haggle and money would exchange hands, and just really fascinating that way.
What is that place like today? Is it still very preserved, or is it quite modern? It's a bit of both.
They preserve it really well. So for example, in Khiva, one of the towns we visited, it's known as an open air museum because you still see all these old sandy structures and the old city walls, how they were protected from the outside. Within the city walls is where the rich and the kings and the nobility would live, and they've preserved all these buildings, all these palaces that still have such lush colors. So it's really well preserved, it's really beautiful. And at the same time, of course, you've got your touches of modern stuff. You've got your souvenir shops, and they've got really great stuff to buy.
Okay.
I saw the pictures in your article. They're beautiful with the lighting of the temple, of the mosques and all those old buildings. I think they're very proud as well, aren't they, Uzbeks, of their culture, and some of them, because it dates thousands of years ago.
And rightly so. And so they take great pride in their country, but they are also a really friendly people. They speak Russian and Uzbek, so not a lot of English, but with Google Translate, you kind of can get around. And I think even though they don't speak a lot of English, like they want to communicate with you and they want to say hi and talk to you and tell you about themselves.
Oh, all very fascinating. We're going to continue this chat online at facebook.com/1FM91.3. There's also going to be a chance for you to win 4 tickets to Beer Fest by simply telling us something very special. The question will be revealed online. And in the meantime, stay tuned. Back with more of Clara in just a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everyone on
Hello.
Facebook. Okay, today, welcome Clara Lock. And because she's just gone to Uzbekistan, it got us thinking, it's not exactly, like I mentioned earlier, not exactly top of mind when people think of
Yeah.
like a holiday destination, right?
A little bit off the beaten track.
Yeah, so tell us about an exotic venue that you would like to go and visit on holiday. Okay, tell us about an exotic venue, something that people don't usually think about when it comes to holidays, and it could lead you to those Beer Fest tickets. Simply drop a comment, all right? So in the meantime, Clara, let's get on with the very exciting things in Uzbekistan. What are the people, like you say, they're very friendly and they don't speak a lot of English, but what's that encounter like with the culture?
I think because Uzbekistan is not very touristy, people are still really fascinated by visitors from other cultures. So it happened that the week I was there, President Halima also made an official visit to Uzbekistan.
You were just there to help her, weren't you, on a secret mission?
And it was just so significant to the city. There were all these signs along the streets, Singapore Uzbekistan flags saying, we welcome
Wow.
the delegation, and all the taxi drivers would be like, hey, where are you from? And I would say Singapore, and they would say, oh, your president was here. And it was a huge deal to them. So, people are just fascinated by, I think, like what's outside the country, and they want to know and they want to chat with you and learn more about you.
Okay. Did you get some special treatment as a result, because your president was in town?
Well, I didn't get discounts on the cab rides, but about the cab rides, they are so affordable anyway. So, in the past, maybe you might have had to haggle in your
Yeah.
experience.
Oh, yeah.
Now there's a ride-hailing app. It's called Yandex. So you just book your ride there, and it's so affordable. It's between 50 cents to $1.50
What?
for short hops around the city.
man.
That's even cheaper than Malaysia or Bali. So I was really surprised by that.
That's with surge pricing as well.
That's with like the tier 2 comfort car, which is not the entry-level car. So it would get like nicer,
Oh.
bigger
Oh,
vehicles, and it was still so
Nice.
affordable.
I'm writing this down. Bucket list, Uzbekistan. I got to get myself there. And you said that the flight is, you take a flight from here to KL. So that's about like an hour, right? And then from KL is another 7.5 hours on Uzbekistan.
On Uzbekistan Airways.
First, I got to learn to spell it, if I want to go there. Uzbekistan Airways. Is there any, like, they're landlocked, aren't they?
They are
So
landlocked.
there's
They
no
are.
like
Yes.
beach life or...
No, there's no beach
So
life.
what kind of water activities are there, I wonder?
I like how that's how you're basing this on.
I'm thinking, how do I pack? Do I pack my bikini? Do I pack
Can you
my
lie by the beach?
Exactly. I'm looking at the map. Yeah, they are landlocked.
There aren't like beaches, but they do have lakes. You don't quite lie by the lake, but you definitely can appreciate and take in the view
okay.
of some water bodies.
There's a lot of sand.
A
lot of
mountain
sand.
and a lot of
There
mountain.
are mountains. So interestingly, they have new tourism products that have come up over the pandemic, like with many countries around the world. And one of them is a new ski resort that's about 90 minutes by road from the capital.
Oh, 90 minutes. That's doable. You can
Yeah.
ski, like legit ski.
You can ski in winter. So we went there,
Wow.
but of course there was no snow at this time of year. But we were showed the ski slopes and how it's gonna look, when it's all snowy and it's got like the whole cable car, ski lift,
Okay.
and just never expected that you could ski in the middle of Central Asia.
Yeah, that's not something, again, that comes to mind
Yeah.
immediately.
Everyone's going to like Korea or Japan for skiing, or maybe even Europe. But
Yeah.
Uzbekistan, not exactly up there.
On the top of your mind.
Yeah.
But look, that's the thing. You're going out and you're finding these great places. The other thing, of course, with destinations is the food. And you were mentioning plov, which is a national dish. It's kind of like, I guess, Central Asian biryani, right?
Yes, it's kind of
Ooh,
like a
like
dum biryani.
biryani?
Yes.
Do you have like a pilaf or something that's
It
quite
is.
popular?
So
Yes.
plov is a derivation of pilaf.
Okay, all right. Well, coming back, we'll talk about shopping. Ka-ching.
Carol's favorite.
I know. Shehzad, you can take a break here. Okay, hang tight.
FM 91.3, good times, greatest hits. That was Linkin Park with In the End.
We're just beginning with Clara Lock here in the studio with us on the Brightside. And Clara is our travel correspondent from the Straits Times. Welcome back, Clara. So
Hi,
good to
it's
have
be
you.
back.
So this morning we're talking about a very exciting upcoming destination, Uzbekistan. And earlier on you painted a beautiful picture of what it's like, you know, a mix of old and new, very historical, very cultural. And you said there was very good shopping to be done in Uzbekistan, surprisingly.
Yeah, I was surprised to find that. But you know, Singaporeans love to get our souvenirs and fun little trinkets from abroad. So Uzbekistan used to be this trading hub on the Silk Road. So if you imagine, merchants used to come here and they would buy and sell all these products. And today you can shop under these trading domes where in the past all these things used to take place. So that's really fascinating. The architecture is beautiful, and then now you're browsing all these modern products that people in Uzbekistan make. So for example, this robe I'm wearing is something you see all over the country. They've got these shorter ones, they've got the long ones, and just all kinds of colorful designs.
The design is that a typical Uzbekistanian design? It looks kind of like Asian in a way, like Indonesian maybe?
Yeah, so I was actually told that it's like ikat, which is in an Indonesian design, and I don't know how it ended up in Uzbekistan, but it could be because, you know, the
Interesting.
Silk Road connected countries all the way as far as Sweden, like you were saying earlier, and all the way to Southeast Asia. So maybe that's how design and culture would change hands.
Wow, very exciting. If you want to see what her robe looks like, do join us on Facebook at facebook.com/1FM91.3. She's glowing, got a beautiful smile as well. But the idea of actually shopping where, you know, the Silk Road was, you know, back in the day is very exciting to me. Just
Especially
go
when you
there
see,
and be-
these domes. The
Yeah.
pictures were really cool. Like it's amazing that you're doing what people were doing thousands of years
centuries
ago. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. I mean, and where else can you find that, right?
Exactly.
It's not quite the same as Orchard Road. So tell us, what else can you get? I mean, so what are some things to look out for apart from robes?
So they do really good ceramics. It's made in the country and it's hand painted. So some of the designs are really intricate, and they have got great embroidery as well. So it's called Suzani. Suzani is a type of textile that you find across Central Asia, and they've got really nice patterns that are unique to the country. So for example, motifs like the pomegranate comes up a lot because they call it the king of fruits.
Oh, nice.
And
You
plus,
see,
it's red and it's vibrant, so it makes a really nice home decor.
So do you see that motif in like jewelry, for instance? Like designs, like in Israel, the pomegranate is also quite common. So you see it in like earrings and necklaces, you know, in clothes and all that.
Not so much jewelry, but you see it on like paintings. There are artists who would like hand paint on specially made paper, and you can buy those painting homes. And then on things like cushions and table runners and robes and little pouches, tote bags. So it's a vibrant and colorful kind of
Be
style,
still
you know.
my tiki tika. I'm so excited. I'm hearing about all these like home decor stuff. I'm like, yes.
Funny how we're talking like you talk about Israel and Uzbekistan, where the fruit is almost revered. Like durian's the king of fruit in this part of the world. You don't see durian jewelry or stuff on
I'm
walls.
sure it's out there somewhere. I mean, we
Really?
have a whole building that looks like a durian. There's plenty.
Dedicated to it, right?
Yeah. Come on, what are you talking about?
That's the Singapore version of the dome.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll check out what the cuisine of Uzbekistan is like in just a little bit. Some similarities here as well. And of course, do join us online. There's a chance for you to win 4 tickets to Beer Fest by simply commenting on something special on our Facebook video this morning. Okay, join us there.
The Brightside with Carol.
Okay, let's say hello to some people on Facebook this morning. I want to say hi to David Lim as well as Wei Chuan. He says, I want to visit Taiwan. Have you been to Taiwan? Yes, you've been to
I
Taiwan.
have. I did my student exchange in Taiwan and I loved it.
Oh, I hear good things about Taiwan as well.
I'm
Have
going
you?
there on Friday for the
Really?
first time.
Is that
Nice.
tomorrow?
Yes. Oh yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're going to Taiwan tomorrow?
Yes.
I hear you got to come back and tell us what it's like.
course.
Because I have a friend that would every single school holiday take off to Taiwan. I mean, she was a teacher.
Wow.
Every June, December, she's there. I mean, she went and she stayed at like this B&B, right? And then she was so smitten with the place that every time she went back, she went to volunteer at the B&B. So they would let her stay there for free.
Whoa.
And she would serve the customers that came to stay there.
Wow.
She would
Wow.
moonlight
Earned her
as the
keep.
B&B
Yeah.
host. Yeah, I mean, that's how much she loved the place. So thanks so much for that one, Wei Chuan. Sarah is also saying good morning. Thank you so much, everyone, for chiming in this morning. Of course, keep those responses coming through. Tell us about an exotic destination that you want to visit. Your chance to win 4 passes to Beer Fest Asia. All right, so Uzbekistan, does it look like you're going to make a return to this place, Clara, anytime soon?
Maybe not so soon, but it does tempt me sometimes when I think about all the stuff to buy, because we were just talking about shopping earlier, right? So besides all the traditional products they've also got a really cool, modern, upcoming design scene. So for example, I went to this shop that has made in Uzbekistan leather products, and it was so affordable for what you're getting. So I got like a belt and small little pouches for maybe like 10 to 15 Singapore dollars.
Wow.
And it's really good quality
Yeah.
leather. They said it's made from cow leather, and
Right.
it's from the agriculture in the country.
Oh.
And you get like cute little, puffy handbags. I got one for maybe about 40 or 50 Sing dollars, and you would never get something of such
Of
quality and
leather,
price
no
here.
way.
Yeah.
Okay. So the leather is nice and soft.
It's nice and soft, and it's the sort of shop where the moment you step in, you just smell it, and it's
Oh
lovely.
Right.
gosh, that sounds lovely, lovely.
There were 4 of us, and we just all went crazy, and we all left with bags and bags. Even
Oh
the guy.
my gosh, even the guy.
Even the guy.
Oh, Shehzad.
Look at
Maybe
you
we
guys
should
talking
plan
about
a
a
trip
shop.
together, actually.
Should we do a show from there?
I think we should. I mean, it sounds like it would be a super fun road trip together as well
Yeah.
with your friends, because it's probably a place that none of you have ever been to. And I kind of like that when you're traveling, you're discovering a place together and everything's new and exciting. Because sometimes when it comes to our own personal travels, we're like, I've been to Australia, I've been to Europe. You know, if you've been there, done that, and you're kind of like, what else
This
can
is
we
different, and I, again, it's because it's like almost at the cradle of civilization, where so many cultures came together. The people are so interesting. There's a mix of different cultures, and like I said, the architecture. Some of those pictures are absolutely beautiful that you took. So, I think this is something that probably should get a little bit more attention from people. It is what, 8 hours away in total? Did we say?
It's 7.5 from KL, so
Yeah.
it's maybe 8.5 from Singapore.
I think you were saying like let's like going towards Dubai and or the other way into Australia.
Yeah, because
So it's-
like Sydney is about 7.5.
yeah, so it's not near, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's not as far as flying to Europe.
Right.
That's also very true, and it feels like it's kind of still feels like it's in our backyard in a way, because it's Central Asia.
Yeah. Not too far away.
All right. So, do you think it's also safe for families?
Yeah, it's
with
super.
young kids.
It's super safe. So normally it's kind of like a trade-off, right? Like either it's affordable or it's safe. But I think in Uzbekistan you do get both. I felt very safe walking around at night, or walking from the hotel to the old town, for example. And Dimdigo, who's a Singaporean who opened a boutique hotel there, says he walks at night from his hotel to explore the old town, where it's really quiet and peaceful and there are no tourists around. He does that at night and he feels perfectly safe.
Oh.
Yeah, actually,
wow.
at no point did I ever feel that things were a little bit dodgy. I never had that, actually. Yeah. And I was there for about 10 days. I never felt that.
What do the people look like? Do they look like a mix of like Russian and Asian?
A little bit, yes, I would say.
Ah.
Yeah.
You said something earlier.
No,
that-
I just think that they're very, very beautiful people, because it's a mixture of cultures. I was stunning in many different ways. Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, got me wondering, is there a Miss Uzbekistan in the Miss World or Miss Universe competitions? I've never noticed.
Do you know what? For research purposes, I will just I'll come back to you on that.
Why, thank you, Shehzad.
While we talk about shopping, he'll look up the Miss Universe
Yeah,
contestants.
exactly. Oh my gosh. So there are fun things for kids to do. It's a great family place. There's going to be skiing very soon. There's not exactly any beach stuff to do. Would you find all your big brands like your H&Ms and your Starbucks and all that there as well, like Mango, Zara?
I don't think so. Honestly, in the 2 weeks I was there, I did not once go to a mall. And I never felt like I needed to go to a
Whoa.
mall. So it was a nice getaway. But
It's
when
a lot of
you-
restraint. Mad
well,
respect.
there's so much shopping in the bazaars anyway. But when you drive past the malls, I didn't see these international chains like emblazoned on the outside.
Not that I want to, but I'm just,
Yeah,
trying to
is it there,
have an
right?
idea of what to expect.
But
yeah.
the markets are cool. I mean, the ones that I saw, they
I
weren't
mean,
on the domes.
yeah,
but-
I would want to go to those. Yeah, obviously. But yeah, I mean, also, what kind of international brands can you find?
Just to come back to an earlier conversation, I can confirm there's definitely
A Miss Uzbekistan in
yeah.
Miss World, Miss Universe?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You
Yes,
might have seen
indeed.
her on the streets, Shehzad, when you were there.
Probably.
Ah, cool. All right, so where's your next outing to? Do you know yet?
I don't actually, but if I were to add my contribution to this "Where do you want to go?" lineup, I would love to go to Rwanda.
Rwanda. Look at
Wow.
her.
Interesting. Okay.
Off the beaten track, for sure.
Okay, why Rwanda in particular?
Well, people talk so much about how Rwanda has all these similarities to Singapore. It's a small country, it's got good governance, it's really picked itself up from the genocide, which happened about 20 odd years ago. And at the same time, it's kind of under the radar, right? People don't really know about it.
Yeah.
You think Africa and you think like Kenya or South Africa, but I think Rwanda has lots to offer. So I'm curious about it, I think.
Do you have a guide or any point of contact at this point, or is it be one of those like spontaneous trips? I'm just going to turn up with my suitcase.
No, I don't think you can go spontaneously to somewhere that's unfamiliar. And we were talking about that, right? Like people like to go to Australia or Bali because it's easy and you don't have to plan. But at the same time, you don't get as much of that sense of discovery as you would in a place like Uzbekistan, where everything is completely new. So I think you have to plan a bit, but then the rewards are different.
So did you know that Clara actually did she stayed in a caravan in the US? She went caravanning. Is that what it's
Oh.
called?
A camper van.
Camper van.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was great. It was my first time. So because I was a bit anxious about the experience, we got like the nicest camper van we could. So it was like the 5-star version of a camper van. So it was really large for 2 people. We could walk around and cook, and it was really comfortable. And then we did
They're
that.
quite luxury. I've seen some of these.
Yeah, quite luxury.
Yeah.
So we did that for my honeymoon, and then in the mornings, my husband.
Honeymoon. Huh?
That's what it was.
That gives you the sense of what
Okay.
she's about. Yeah. And then there was a bear.
Yes, we saw wildlife. So that was in the US at Yellowstone National Park. Yes.
And it was a big one. It wasn't like a tiny little bear cub.
No, we saw grizzlies. We saw a couple of them, and wait,
Whoa,
what-
you had a grizzly right in front
what
of your
happened?
camper van.
No, not right in front.
Okay.
But
It's like, give me your
that would have been terrifying.
Yeah.
You kind of see where lots of people are clustered by the road, and you think, okay, maybe there's going to be wildlife, and someone will tell you like, oh, it's there.
It's
They'll
over
kind
there.
of point it out. Yeah, so it's really quite special.
Is that something you would do,
Yellowstone.
Shehzad?
Yeah, actually, Yellowstone, that's one of those iconic places I kind of want to
Is that on your bucket list? Really?
I wouldn't say necessarily bucket list, but it's definitely something, you want to kind of see. And to check out all the wildlife and stuff, which you got to see, which I don't know if that's something you always get to see in Yellowstone, right? I don't know how easy it is.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a bit of a luck of the draw.
Right.
I went during shoulder season in April, so there are not so many tourists, and I think it makes it easier to spot wildlife.
Right.
What's
That's-
it called? Shoulder season.
So shoulder season is where you should always look to travel, because that's where you get the best deals.
It's
not
off-peak.
It's slightly off peak, but it's not like the worst of the season. Like you wouldn't go to the Maldives in the rainy season,
Yeah,
or
right.
like you wouldn't go to Paris in the thick of winter, but you go like in autumn and in spring, and that's not quite the school holidays, so it's nice and it's not as crowded.
Oh,
That's my
nice
tip.
This is
tip.
the
I love
travel
it.
jargon that we got to get in.
yeah, shoulder
Travel
season.
in April and October.
Alrighty, we're going to jump back live on air again to talk about the food of Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan? Tomato. Hang tight. Alanis Morissette and Head Over Feet here on 1FM 91.3 Good Times, Greatest Hits. Good morning to you. You're waking up on the Brightside with Carol and Shehzad. Joined in the studio this morning by our Straits Times travel correspondent, Clara Lock. Travel Lock. Clara Lock, welcome back. Yeah, because you're traveling so much. I mean, half the time, we want you in here more often, but half the time you're away.
Oh, it's fun being in here.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
It's fun. You bring the
thanks.
fun and you bring the cheer, because we are always learning about these new exotic destinations. And today it's all about Uzbekistan. Earlier on, we talked about the people, what to expect. The shopping is fascinating, you say. So one thing that's also near and dear to the hearts of Singaporeans, the food. What can we expect when it comes to the cuisine?
Well, if you love meat, you will love Uzbekistan.
Wow.
They eat a lot of meat, a lot of red meat. So beef, lamb, and you get this in the form of skewers, grilled meat. You get this. We had this pastry, so they bake the pastry top and then they cut it open at your table. So then inside it's steaming and then it's kind of all cooked there, so the meat is really soft.
That sounds
And,
like a beef Wellington almost, or is it more like a pot pie kind of thing?
it's maybe like a pot pie.
What is that called?
I
What do
don't
they call
actually
it?
know the name, but
They were
it
too
just-
busy eating the thing.
Yeah, it just
sounds
appeared on the
delicious.
table and then everybody
You
tucked
know,
in.
she's just like, you cut it open and there's the steam coming out. And I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing. Wow.
But then, of course, you can't miss out on their national dish, which is plov. We were talking a bit about that earlier. So it's like their version of a dum biryani. It's rice and with meat cooked in it, and then they've also got all these veggies like carrots and and cucumber, and everything's cooked till it's really meltingly soft.
It's so delicious, this dish, because I just had some over the weekend. I had some friends come over, they're from Kazakhstan, and they have the same
Similar, right.
dish. Yeah,
yes.
and it's absolutely beautiful with the lamb inside and the cucumbers, and it's so refreshing. It's a beautiful, hearty meal, very
is.
comfort food like.
Melt in your mouth, the meat.
lamb,
Oh,
yes.
Just gorgeous.
And my friend, her mom and her mother-in-law were both in the house, and they were all kind of like giving her tips on how to prepare it. So in the end, she let them make it, and so it was the mother's recipe.
That's always the best.
Yeah,
and
so-
they made it for you in Singapore. That's amazing.
Yeah, and they brought the garlic from like Kazakhstan. and
Wow.
everything. It was
Yeah.
it was very legit, very delicious.
So you won't be envious of this one. You just had it.
Yeah, but as you're talking about it, I'm like, yeah, I can totally understand what this dish tastes like.
Clara, you also mentioned something like I love the sound of. It's lamb stuffed ravioli with butter sauce, and there's a rendition of a crispy sweet eggplant salad.
Yes, they actually have
Amazing.
great salads. So interestingly, many of their salads have meat, but they've also got this eggplant salad. So they like fry it till it's crispy, and then it's tossed with their sauce, sweet sauce, and veggies. And there's actually lots of very fresh herbs and vegetables that you get with the meals.
I'm sure the guys are very excited about meat salads.
Absolutely. I have to say, and maybe this was because it was a long time ago, 20 years ago, it was a lot of meat, and kind of vegetable was a bit of a side, an afterthought. But I think probably it's got a little bit better with that, and now more veggies and people. It's not just meat. It
Yeah.
was a lot of meat. You're
Yeah.
right. You get the meat sweats after a while there.
Okay.
Serious.
It's sounding more and more appealing, Uzbekistan, really. I'm sold. The meat, the shopping, the people are friendly, and it's not hard to get there. So once again, to get to Uzbekistan, you take a flight to KL, and then you take Uzbekistan Airlines. It's about 7.5 and 8 hours, and definitely something for all of us to consider. Where can we go to find out more and read more about Uzbekistan?
You can check out our travel page. It's at str.sg/travel. So we've got a really great interactive story about Uzbekistan, lots of amazing pictures and video clips, and travel pieces as well about all kinds of other countries around the world.
Thank you so much, Clara. Where can
Yeah.
people find you as well on social media so that they can see all your beautiful pictures on Instagram?
I'm Spoke Such Scurvy on Instagram. If that's a little bit hard to spell, you can just search Clara Lock and you'll probably find me.
Okay, I like playing Where in the World is Clara Lock? I just go to her Instagram and I try to figure out where is she?
It's all on my IG stories.
Okay, so if you're not here, you're somewhere in the world. Thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
us.
Clara. That was great.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me. It's been great.
All the best on your next adventure.
Thank
Enjoy.
you.
Hey, thanks everyone. And we've got some comments on which exotic location, but people are actually, sending us little hearts with a globe. Siu Cheng. Good morning, Siu Cheng. She's so cute. I'm looking for some comments on, I can't click my comments. I'm so sorry. Oh, someone says, Hugh, FP Hugh says, I would love to go to Peru. I understand it's got a beautiful landscape and people. Have you been to Peru?
I have not. It's on my list as well.
That is bucket list for Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
Big time.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think FD has been there, the Flying Dutchman. He
Nice.
says it was amazing. The people are so good, and he had it was definitely on the top of his bucket list, actually. So thanks so much for commenting. We will be in touch about those Beer Fest tickets. Okay. So look out. Look out for a message from us or a DM. Okay. And of course, thank you for joining us here on Facebook Live. We'll
Thanks,
speak
guys.
to Clara again soon.